Do you want more? More time, more balance, more love, more sex, more money, more real, and less bullshit? This is the Women Wanting More podcast with Dr. Karen Osborne. Real life, real stories, plus real tips to get you more of what you want.
Change of plans. How many times have you been moving towards something in your life where suddenly there's a change of plans, and it most likely is not something that you've wanted, but yet here you are in a situation or in an experience, or something has shifted where there's a change in plans for whatever reason. You know, I'm just out doing some Christmas shopping today and thought, I'm going to go and get these things. It's December 20th today as I Christmas shop. A lot of the toys that my kids have wanted are no longer there. I couldn't find them online for a reason. Now they're not in the stores. I'm like, well, change of plans. Change of plans. Let me just go with what I think will be something that they'll dig, right? So it can be something as significant as that, like holiday shopping, or it can be big life shit. And here's what I found to be true for me, is that as much as you kind of might go, well, here's the plan that I had, right? Was it John Lennon? I always get this mixed up. I thought it was John Lennon. Then I read some recently. It's like, no, it's not John Lennon, but I'm just going to assume this is John Lennon, which had said, life is what happens when you're busy making plans. Like, have fun with that plan of yours, but just understand that the plan is probably going to change. Yeah, the plan is probably going to change. And so we have choices when life plans change, right? Or just the plans change in any way. We can, number one, be angry and upset because we see it. It's got to be this way. It's a box that we've put the plan in, and it's only going down in this way, and it's not. And so now I'm angry and I'm pissed and I'm upset and I'm frustrated, right? Life's not fair. That's number one response. Number two response is that we're kind of still in that first place, but then we're really resistant. So even if someone says, hey, but like, here's something else, and we go, nope, it's got to be this way. It's the only way, like, no. So there's other possibilities that are maybe opening up to you, but you can't even see them because you're still so in such a resistance space where they're literally right in front of your eyes. They could even be things where it's actually even better than your original quote-unquote plan. But you can't see them because you're resisting anything that's coming your way, right? Or here's option number 3. We can still be, affected, upset, maybe disappointed the plan isn't the plan, but then we, in a way, it's funny, as I'm driving, I'm like motionless. So like your hands up in the air, like, oh, I don't know, like, but it's not that. It's not that. It's a more, I heard Daniel Laporte mention this in a way the other day. It's like, let me just give it over now. Let me offer it to the universe, to source, to God, whatever you want to call it. It's all the same. And say, you know what? This is not happening this way for some purpose that I cannot foresee right now. And maybe what's actually coming next is better. And that there's a different plan, and it's taking me down this path for a reason, for a season, for something to show up, to unfold, and I'm just gonna trust and try to let go of the control. Because controlling, by the way, when we're angry about things, it comes up because we're trying to control it, right? When we're overwhelmed about stuff, we're trying to control it. When we think and feel that it shouldn't be happening a certain way, we're trying to. So we let go of that control and we say, you know what? I surrender. By the way, surrender's not giving up. Surrender is an acceptance of what is. The plan is not the plan that I had planned it to be. But yet, I surrender. I'm going to let go. I'm just going to take a deep breath and say it will be okay. Now, you could get in a real tizzy about holiday shop and not get right the gifts and all that stuff. And this could be something that you're hearing the words in that way for something, we'll just say smaller. I don't mean to downplay it at all, but smaller. Or it could be really big life stuff too. That's the hard pieces, right? That's the really hard pieces. Especially if you're a woman who has been used to, in your life, working hard for getting what you want. The belief that if I just work hard enough, I'll get the things that I want, that has not rung true for me. That hasn't. And that what I've actually found to be true is that the harder that we push and force and try to make shit happen, like, oh, I'm going to do this no matter what kind of thing, like, yes to persistence, yes to perseverance, yes to dedication and devotion, and like, I'm willing to do whatever it takes to create this in my life, right? But it needs to be done in a way that's like lighter, that's allowing, that's receiving, that's actually in your feminine energy. See, when we as women go to that place of, I'm going to make shit happen, I'm going to like force it, I'm going to like, it's very masculine energy. And we all have, as women, we have female and masculine energy. As men, they have masculine and female energy. But there's understanding the balance of that, if you will. And there's a reason why, as women, when we try to fit, it's actually going to do a Facebook Live about this. This came to me a couple days ago. We try to fit into a male world, a man's world of working nonstop and crushing goals and like push, and like that energy. There's a reason why it feels very off for us, because it's not aligned for who we are as women. Doesn't mean we can't work hard. Doesn't mean we can't have really specific goals. But there's a different energy. There's a different finesse to it. There's an allowing. There's a receiving. There is an understanding that you are provided for. In your divine feminine, you are being provided for on this earth and in other ways. And when we tap into that, and I know this is like, the conversation might be going like, oh, wah, wah. Like, as one of my kids would use sound effects sometimes to describe stuff, like, it's not really getting it, not working. Like, I understand, because if I would have heard this conversation 2 years ago, I'd be like, like, forget that, right? Like, thumbs down, man. Fuck that. I get shit done. I make shit happen. I'm the woman who gets shit done. That's why that's why people, women, and other people come to me for things, because they know that I will get the job done, that I will get things done. I'm capable. I can do lots of shit, right? What I found, though, is that you can run that game as a woman for a certain period of time, and then it's just not going to work anymore, and you're gonna be just exhausted, and run down, and burned out, and frustrated, and feeling very disconnected from who you are. There will be a sense and a feeling of like, this just doesn't feel like me, but yet here's what I think I'm supposed to do. Here's how I think I'm supposed to show up. Here's what I feel is expected of me by other people in my life or by society, or all these roles and hats that I play. And then there's going to be a point when you crash. And maybe that's happened to you several times. Like, I see you. And I can speak from this place because I know this place very, very well. But if we can instead, my sister, when the plans do change, that we don't just throw our hands up in there and go, oh, well, whatever happens, it's all for a reason, I'm just going to trust. But inside we feel like, oh my God, what? And we're like holding the wheel tighter, right? Like trying to steer that ship. But we just really like, it's hard for me to let go of this control right now, right? I'm afraid of what will happen if I don't try to steer the ship. Like, we're just honest about our experience and the feelings that are coming up from it. And we tap into faith. And I don't mean faith with a capital F, meaning in a religious way. If that's what rolls for you, then great. But please don't misinterpret this when I talk. The word faith is a beautiful word. I love it. But it also gets a really religious connotation, and for some of you, and that was me even me at times, just like, that's not a religious, but just like, let me just have faith right? Maybe you want to call it hope instead. Maybe hope feels better for you. How about this? Maybe I just let go and trust. I let go and I trust. Remember like when the trust fall thing used to be I don't know how old that you are, but there was like an old commercial for Lipton's iced tea where they fell back into something like the old trust fall, right? Trust fall is like you'd be doing it with a person or some kind of like, group or experience where you literally just like, you're standing, the person's behind you, and you fall back. So basically think of like tipping almost like you're hinging, like your body's, solid and you're just kind of on your heels and you just kind of fall back, right? And it's a trust fall, if you will, because you trust that person behind you is there to catch you. And so if people can't, they're going to like bend their knees. They'll be like, look back, are you still there? Like, and the way that works is you just have to simply just let go and just fall back. So have that metaphor, that visual in your mind of like, this is what it is when we let go of all the control. We've done what we need to do. Things have changed. We're still taking action within this. We're not resting on laurels. We're still doing things, but it's not a forcing. It's not a pushing. It's not a stressful. It's not a gripping the wheel. If this doesn't happen, then here's the story I have about it. No, it's this allowing. Because think, I know there's been times in your life where the plan didn't go according to plan. It went in a different direction. At the time, you were trying to steer the ship still. In retrospect now, you're able to look back and you go, oh, that happened because got it. Thank you, universe, right? So it's easy to look back and see that forest for the trees, right? But can we in the moment, this is the skill set, to really begin to like, I want to say master. Master seems like you're done learning. It's the skill set. It is the knowing in your heart that is still hard to do. I don't think it becomes easy. I just think you just have more history of it. And you're like, oh, right. When I let go, and I just trust, and I allow things to unfold as they need to unfold, knowing that I don't always have all the answers. I don't always have the best laid plan. That I am supported and provided for and being protected, and it will be okay. And I'm scared about it, but I'm just gonna let go and allow the plans to be what they need to be. A big example I've talked about many times in the podcast is when I became a mom. My husband and I struggled for like 7.5 years to try to conceive. Went through all the fertility stuff, and finally when we did, we're placed with Tyson as a newborn baby, and then Kai almost 3 years after that through open adoption. Like, we could look back and go, oh, I got it. These boys were to be our sons. That's why I never conceived. I needed to go through that struggle and that pain of loss so that I could have that experience and I could talk about it with you. It was like, my soul at some level knew, like, listen, I signed up for this shit way, way long ago. Now, at the time that I was going through that, it didn't feel that way to me. I didn't know any of these things. I didn't have that way of seeing life. But I knew that there was a story to tell inside of that once I got to the other side of that whole experience and all the pain. It's actually what spurred this whole thing of speaking into my phone with you. My first podcast was called Mom at 41. Talking about being an imperfect mother and how at the time, because when did I launch Mom at 41? 2014. So that was about 5.5 years ago. The conversation of motherhood being messy and imperfect. It's like now it's kind of talked about a little bit more openly, but it wasn't back then. And so I was really confused. And as a mom, it's called Mom at 41 because I became a mom for the first time at 41. And then 3 years later at the age of 44 when I was placed with Kai, it was a very different experience motherhood at that age. But it also brought me a lot of wisdom. It also brought me a lot of life experience. So I can look back now from that and say, we were designed to be Tyson and Kai's mom and dad. without question. There's no qualm in my mind. Like, there's nothing that says, well, maybe. It's like, no, this was it. I can see that now. So can we still hold that knowing when we don't know? Like, let me rephrase that. Can we hold that knowing, that trust, when we don't have all the pieces in place now, right? So if I could go back to Karen starting at the age at 35, beginning the thing of, all right, let's start to have our family kind of thing. Let's do this. Let's make a baby. This will be fun, right? If I could go back to that Karen and to just let her know, like, oh man, it's going to suck these 7.5 years. But please just trust, like, you will be becoming a mom. It's just not going to be, it's not the plan that you guys think. The plans change. Can we trust in those moments when it does? Can we know that we will be okay? And can you look back and say, man, I've had several times in my life that things didn't go the way they were supposed to go. Quote unquote, supposed to go. What we thought was the way, the expectation that we had of, it's got to be this way. And it didn't go that way. And it went the other way. It went in a completely different direction. And we were okay. And we were actually probably better than okay. So if right now for you, so here's your more tip for today. If right now for you, there's something in your life where the plans are changing, and I'm going to assume that they are, because this is life. Life is constantly changing and shifting and unfolding in different directions. And the more that we can be resilient with it and understand that all of these things, these challenges are coming up to make you into who you truly are, for you to remember who you truly are. But that you can simply have the knowing that the plans that seem to be getting changed according to your map of how you think the plans are supposed to be, can you just simply let go and trust? So here's your more tip for today, is whatever that situation is, and even if there's nothing that comes to mind for you right away, just do this more tip. This is an easy peasy one. I haven't done this for a while. It's one of my favorites. So pull out a Post-it note, okay, or put it as wallpaper on your phone, and just have to count the word. Okay, these 4 words you're going to write on it. Let go and trust. Let go and trust. Let go and trust. Let go and trust. Which is what I'm going to actually call this podcast. I had a different title in my mind. I'm like, no, that's a better one. Let go and trust. All right? Because it is just, it's everything. And you can let go and trust and still be scared. Okay? You can let go and trust and still be like, oh shit. Let go and trust. And I promise you, sister, I promise you, you'll be okay. Promise you that. So, these concepts that I talk about in the podcast, like, we go deep on this when I'm in front of women eyeball to eyeball. And there is a beautiful experience coming up called the Women Wanting More Retreat Experience 2020. It is about 4 weeks from now, end of January 2020, here in beautiful Victoria, BC, Canada, where there are 5 spots left for women. They're at a point where they do feel very lost and stuck, where they're having a hard time letting go and trusting. They don't know where to go from here. They don't know who they are. They've woken up or had life experience that have just knocked them in the ass so many times. They're just down and out, where you don't know your way out. You've been trying, but you really want to get some clarity on who you are, on where you're going in this next decade moving forward, and to know that there are certain tools and skills that you need to learn to navigate through this. And you don't need to do it alone, and to be in a group of women that are just like you for this experience. So, these live events, this retreat experience 2020 is not for every woman. It's really, really not, but it just might be for you. And so if you're feeling called with this, here's the deal. You have to apply for this, okay? There's 5 spots that are left. 5 spots are left, and you have to apply, okay, to really see if you are fit. And I would be honored to get your response to that. So here's what you need to do to apply. Very simple. Send me a text, 250-589-4811. Yes, that is my actual cell phone number. Send me text 250-589-4811. All you have to say is this: Karen, I'd love to apply for the retreat. Okay? And I will connect with you from there. So if your heart is telling you something about this, listen, let go of the stories about that and just trust and follow that. And then second announcement I want to make to you. Oh my God, I'm so excited. Okay, there is something super cool launching. I've been calling it Women Wanting More Fan Club, but it's actually all called now the More Club. Okay, for those women that are fans of the podcast that would like more of this experience. Okay, that is set up. So I mentioned about the retreat experience, not for every woman. The More Club is for every woman, okay? And there's different benefits that you'll get and different levels of that based on what you truly want. And so think of it as the Woman Wanting More podcast after party. Like, you're like, ooh, I want more of that. But you're not ready for the retreat, or you're just not there yet, right? Like, I wanted to really create something. This is similar to what I had the Sisterhood running for a couple of years, and that no longer is. But even at a more evolved scale, if you will. And on top of that, I'm not shitting you on this, okay? Pennies a day. Pennies a day. Like, this is for every woman. There is no woman that can't be in the More Club. And it's a way for us to stay connected, for me to provide more for you, more value, more of what you want. Being part of this community, this tribe, which I really see exploding coming this new decade in 2020. So I have no links for you yet with that, but it'll be launching on January 1st, the More Club. I'd love for you to join us and support the Woman Wanting More movement and to give you more of what you want, sister. Because you deserve this next decade to be fucking amazing, and the More Club is going to get you there. So hang tight. There'll be more information coming soon. More Club launching January 1st, 2020. All right, sister, I'll talk to you in the next episode. A life of more really is one step away from you letting go and trusting every single day. I love and appreciate you.
To get the show notes of each Women Wanting More episode, including the How to Get More tip, subscribe to the newsletter at drkarenosburn.com/newsletter.